Welcome back, guys. Today I want to touch base on a few things related to standalone ignition on an 04 and newer Sportster engine. I kind of vaguely explained that stuff in previous videos, but there have been some questions come up, so there's a really good video. I have to find it, and I can't remember the name of the shop on YouTube that done that conversion. He did a really good job, and it was a street bike application. It wasn't a race bike like mine. So I'm gonna touch base on a few things, some details. So in his video, he had he was working on I want to say it was an 05 or 06. It was carbureted, and it had a map sensor in the intake manifold. Now, luckily for him, on that particular bike, this is the number 2 camshaft, and you can see this 1032, 1024, whatever it is, this little screw that holds the timing rotor on. That's what drives your rotor for your standalone ignition. I can tell you for sure that my 07 camshaft, it did not have this little notch right there. It did not have that notch to guide the rotor, and the hole was there, but it wasn't tapped. So the 07 up, just go ahead and assume that there's no provision. You'll have to go to a different set of camshafts to do it. So, which I was putting new cams in my engine anyway, so it didn't matter. But you want to run 2000 and newer aftermarket cams will all have this stuff done for you. So there's the camshaft difference. I probably threw the 07 cam away, or I would show you the difference. Basically, it doesn't have that notch machined in it, and it's not threaded. So you can't bolt a timing cup rotor to it. Okay, next thing. 91 to 99, this is your gasket. Okay, you can see just this one oil, I'm going to call it a port right here. Okay, so, and this also is a 99 cover, excuse me, that I cut down. You see there's no oil galley here or here. Okay, so the newer engine, this would be a 2000 and up, has these oil galleys, 1, 2, 3 of them. Okay, and then you can see that there's no place for that oil to go other than to just dump into the cam chest. So that's the difference between them. And I can't remember, there's a casting number. It's any of you guys know, go ahead and drop a line in the comments. I know it ends in 98A. I just can't remember the rest of it. 24545 something, I don't remember, but it ends in 98A, and that is a 2000 to 03 883 or 1200 cover. So you'd have to have that cover because it has that correct oiling for your newer bike, and it also has the provision here for the standalone ignition. It has the bushing, the hole, the seal, the bosses are drilled and tapped. Like on my 07, this was just basically a blank. It had the bushing for the cam to ride in, but it didn't have any of this. It just had like some webbing cast into it here for a support, and then just had, you know, your two little screw holes to put a timing cover on it, which there's nothing underneath of it. So hang on a minute, we'll take a look at some of the differences in the cases. Okay, so this is a 99 case. You can see it has the single oil galley transfer port, whatever the hell you want to call it, and that's a 99 set of 99 cases. So I don't know Some people try to say that the 99 up stuff, but this is not the case with the cases and the cam covers. It's 2000 to 03. So there's 4 model years that you can pick from. They are kind of hard to find. This is a set of 01 cases. Okay, you guys can see the difference. Okay, see there? This is a set of 01 cases. Again, this gasket has that shared oiling deal, and my 07 engine looks just like this one. Looks just like it, and it takes the same exact gasket. So there it is. But you have to have that cam chest cover, because clearly this isn't going to work. Okay, so but that, just so you guys can see the differences in the cases, the gaskets. I do have 2 of those covers, but unfortunately one's on this bike and one's on the other bike, so I don't have one off to show you the casting number. Again, I'm sure somebody watching knows what that casting number is. Please drop it in the comments. Okay, so those are the differences in the cases. The cover you would need to put a standalone ignition on an 04 up bike. Again, I don't know for sure if every Sportster from 04 to 06 had that camshaft prepared for, because Harley Davidson is known for using up leftover parts across model years. Like the camshafts that were in that bike, in that guy's video, were probably leftovers from the 03 model year that Harley just kept using them to get rid of them. And so I don't know what the cutoff is. You take the cover off and you look at your number 2 camshaft, which would be your, if you're looking at the bike, it'd be your second one in from the left. So take a look at your cam, see if you got that notch, and then see if that hole's threaded. If it is, you're good to go. If not, you're going to have to put a different set of cams in it, something from an earlier model bike. What else? Intake manifolds. If you're planning to put a carburetor on yours, which I did on this one, and let me see. So, here we go. All right, being an 07, it has, the heads are slightly farther apart, like 110 thousandths, something like that on the side. I don't remember. I had to get some shims from Chad Hart to fit my S&S intake to the heads. But this one is made by Hammer Performance, and it bolts right in. And it's 07. Again, I don't know for sure if the 04 to 06 heads were wider like the 07s. I don't know. But if you're converting a fuel injected bike, Hammer makes these for, this one's for a 48 Mikuni, but he makes them for the stock CV style 40 millimeter carburetors. He makes them for 42s, 45s, and 48s. Unfortunately, he doesn't make this for S&S carburetors. So he only makes it for Mikunis or the stock Kian CV carburetor. So, and these are, this one I ordered without the map sensor. You know, you can get it with the map sensor or without. This one I custom ordered. I think it was around $190, which is probably about, what, $50 more than an S&S intake manifold. And again, hang on a second, I'll show you the shims. These are custom, forget the pine needle there. These are custom laser cut intake shims. That's the thickness difference in the earlier style intake and those fuel injected heads. But you've got, you know, anything, I think 04 up probably has this weird, I call it weird because it's not, well, you know, it's not right here, it's clear out here. And that's what those shims are made to fit. So putting a carburetor on a fuel injected engine could be a little tricky, depending on what you're doing. You can use an S&S intake if you want to run an S&S carburetor, but you have to have some of this stuff made. And give Chad a holler at XLXB Horsepower. He's the one that made these for me. I got 2 sets of them. The other set's on the engine. They're 2 different thicknesses. So it is possible to put an S&S intake on your fuel injected heads if you want to run that. But again, the other option is, you know, if you want to run a Mikuni carburetor, Hammer Performance is the way to go, you know, because they make these specifically for the 07 up heads where they're further apart to make room for the fuel injection. As far as choosing an ignition system or how to make it work with a fuel injected bike, honestly, my bike doesn't have any of the original wiring. It's a total discharge, no charging system. I wired the whole thing up by hand, just based on what I need, you know, rev limiter, shift lights, stuff like that, ignition. So you got other things that you got to worry about. I don't know if there's a VOES switch on the fuel injected bike. I don't think there is, but there's a lot of things that I don't know for sure to tell you because I'm not actually doing that to my bike. When I first started with this, I was browsing around on YouTube. That's how I found that one guy. I wish I could remember his name of that shop. I really can't. I'm sorry. If I find it, I'll post a video with a link, but his was really in depth as about how to make that ignition system work with the, and again, it was a carbureted bike, but it had a map sensor and all that other stuff. It was, you know, pre-fuel injected bike. It was pretty close. So, again, I don't know. I would assume it would be a completely separate circuit. If you're handy with wiring, you can use your skills to wire it in so it works with the key switch, you know, and all that, the push button stuff. You won't mess with starter, but yeah. So hopefully this information is a little bit more helpful than I have given in the past. Like I said, I didn't get real in depth with it. It's my application is a racing application. It's not a street ridden application. So anybody knows that casting number, drop it in the comments so everybody can see it. I can't remember that either. So I have 2 of them, and it was an interesting search trying to find both of them. So actually I had to buy an entire 2001 engine to get one of those covers. The other one I way overpaid for on eBay. So yeah. So if you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, leave it in the comments. Love to hear from y'all. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button. Drop me a comment. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Have a good evening.